has heard the poem called The Snake? So I have it. Does anybody want to hear it again? You sure? Are you sure? Okay. So let's dedicate this to General Kelly, the Border Patrol, and the ICE agents for doing such an incredible job. Right? This was written by Al Wilson a long time ago. And I thought of it having to do with our borders and people coming in. And we know what we're going to have. We're going to have problems. We have to very, very carefully vet. We have to be smart. We have to be vigilant. So here it is, the snake. It's called The Snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. The border. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, oh heavens, you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I have saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
All right, Shalom. This is Har 1 by Nyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakar Kodash, and Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Yeah, what you heard there was Trump's, the speech on this poem called The Snake. And the poem was written by a guy named D.H. Lawrence. All right. And I think he was probably an Edomite. I'm not sure. I can look into it. But D.H. Lawrence wrote that poem, and he was writing it. And the way he wrote it sounded like Esau, because they wrote it in the folklore type of mindset, to where they were referencing to the snake. And they was talking about, they used to write poems to warn you about snakes. Even the coral snake, they say the red touches the black, then it won't hurt Jack. The red touches yellow, then it'll kill a fellow. So that was like a poem to let you know to stay away from the yellow and red coral snake, dealing with the poison. So they had poems referencing snakes to let you know if you take a snake in, even though this guy learned and was taught to not deal with snakes because they were dangerous and deadly. he still took it in, but the way Trump read it, he read it in the sense of a woman. Now that lets you know that that woman is America. See that? He even saying it, the woman. So he changed the poem to a woman taking in the snake. All right. The original poem was D.H. Lawrence taking in the snake. All right. So that's that harlot. America is the harlot sitting upon the scarlet colored beast. All right. The daughter of Babylon. Now, two things came to mind. The way Esau showed up here to the shores of America. All right. Even to the western coast of Africa, and how they showed up to America around the 1400s, all the way until 1900s, man, 1960s. They even till now, shit. All right, but they originally, when they showed up around the 1400s with Columbus, they touched the apple of the Lord's eye. After then it took us down in Rome and shit like that, fucking us up in the Byzantine Empire. But over here on the shores of America, Esau showed that they're the serpent, that they're the snake. Trump is the snake. All right. But so now, what they've done to the Lord's people is being done unto them. They're being invaded. They're being, they're going to be oppressed someday. See that? Well, the Lord is bringing judgment upon them now. The cup is passing through them. All right. So the cup of the Lord's indignation. This is Job 18:12. And the Lord said, what they've done unto us is going to be done unto them. This is the faith and the patience of the saints. Job 18:12. His strength shall be hunger bitten. All right. In America's Esau and the president, Trump, the king of Babylon at this moment, their strength is hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. See that? So they got the Lord has all these nations set in array around about America, against America, setting their missile systems against America, their military, their defense systems, and they even have what they call migrants on the borders of America trying to get in here. It was from Syria, all different countries in Africa, terrorists, non-terrorists, whatever. All right. So you have all this happening right around the time before you go into the elections, where you have all these migrants, even more showing up. And they got to find something to do with them. And you got that corona shit creeping around, so it's a lot. All right. It says, it shall devour the strength of his skin. Wow, man. Right? And even, what's it? That's basically their covering. So the strength of their skin, man, the strength of their covering. So the Lord is devouring their religion through us prophesying, teaching, destroying spiritual strongholds. He's devouring them through his word first, and he's bringing about the prophecies. All right. And the Lord has these nations stripping America and plucking the feathers off this damn bird, the eagle. And these elites, banking elites, the scripture saying in Revelation, they should eat her flesh. All right, consume her flesh, man, meaning all the wealth and riches and resources America has. So all of that's being weakened right now through what? Debt. Through debt. All right, that thick clay. And it says, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, man. That's that pride and their faith. So what are their faith? Their faith is in what? Their dollar. Their faith is in their government, their system. So all of that's going to be rooted out of America. And all right, and that's what's happening to the economy right now. The dollar, the faith in the economy of America is fading. And that's what the futures market, the credit market is built on. Like all the investments in America. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. That's that pride, thinking they can rule the world, sitting over the nations as a king. He says a queen. See that? His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. All right, so Yahweh is going to send Yahweh Shai to bring terrors upon this place. And one of those terrors is going to be terrorists. He's going to send those migrants through the borders and those nations against America. All right, just like he did with Babylon in October 539 BC with Belshazzar and Nebuchadnezzar when they fell to Darius the Mede and Cyrus the Great. The Lord sent those armies in there from the north. And the same thing will happen to America. It's written that Russia is going to invade America. You know, all these major countries going to invade this place. And they're going to send missiles upon this place. All right. The same way America sends migrants into other countries to overpopulate them. Even Turkey. Turkey was saying, who were they talking to? I can't remember. I think it was Palestine. Somewhere, Syria. It was one of them. And they were saying, yeah, man, Turkey can send all those migrants that they have on their border. They can send them over there. And that would flood the economy. That would drown the economy, drain the economy. Same thing with America. You know, if they bring all the migrants into America, you're going to have terrorists, you're going to have killings, you're going to have diseases, you're going to have, they're human people, but this is like, you know, if you go to another country, if you lack medical aid, these things can happen. You're going to have riots, you're going to have protests, because, Esau going to be putting hell on Jacob if they come through them borders, and these heathens come through the borders, into the heathen borders. So, and you also have, just like in China, all right, during the time of Ip Man. If you watch Ip Man, that's what happened with them. They had too many people, and 4 plates or 2 plates became 1. If you was sitting down, usually at a restaurant, you eat 2 plates. Instead, you have 1. You know what I mean? They ain't have enough in their economy, and the money, the dollar is going to hyperinflate. All right, that we call hyperinflation, or a dollar collapse. So anyway, so that's what Trump is afraid of. Let me get this real quick. This is Zechariah 2:7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus, and that's today. For and the Zion represents the elect, all right, the foundation, or the high mountain of Israel, the one that's going to be exalted. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, of armies, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations, which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. All right. So now Esau has put us into slavery and kept us here, and still putting hell on our people and taxes and all these different forms of racism. All right. So it says so the ones that touched us in slavery, they have touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man. And now the Lord said what? Like such as Gad said, the truth was going to overtake him, but he was going to overtake them at the last. And you got a lot going on over there in California and Mexico and all these different borders. And you're talking about a border wall when they only built almost 300 miles of it and they got like thousands of miles to go. And if you see the land that they got to build that wall on, it's like nothing but desert. And you'll see really how huge America is. And if you look at that desert and where they talking about building the wall, it's like no man's land, yo. It make you real humble and think about the mirage that America is. You know, the daughter of Babylon. This is a mirage. It's like a show city. You know, the Lord's going to bring this place down, man. It's here today, going tomorrow. Whenever tomorrow comes, whatever that day is. All right. So they've touched the apple of the Lord's eye. Now it's being done to them. When the Northern Kingdom was dealing with Esau, you had a lot of our people fighting against them, like Osceola, you know, Seminole Indian tribes, and all these different Northern Kingdom tribes. They were fighting against Esau. But then you had a lot of Jake. What they say is it's a post going around. I'm not gonna get it, but it's a picture. I'm sure a lot of people saw it. It's a picture, say the original Homeland Security, and it had I forget his name, man. All right, you see it right here. It says fighting terrorism since 1492. So who is the original terrorist, man? You damn Edomites. Look at him in the background. All right, you had I think it was Geronimo. You know, I had to go back into it, but it's no problem. But yeah, since 1492, they've been fighting against Esau over here on the shores of America. See that? So now, since they've done that, now the Lord is going to have it happen to this place, America. All right, they have invaded. Now the Lord is going to have this place invaded, the place of unwalled villages. They're going to have it invaded by the Russians, the Medes. All right. This is Job 18:5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. And that's the Illuminati, but also it's talking about America. That's their beacon. That's their of the Chaldees. You know, that's their what makes Babylon Babylon. You have North and South America, but North America is basically Babylon today, spiritually Babylon, spiritually Egypt, spiritually Assyria, you know. So all right. So the light of the wicked shall be put out. So all their imaginations, all their riches and wealth and new world order. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle. The Lord gonna have these people in derision. All right. He said he made foolishness the wicked, the wisdom of this world, man. Dude up there doing a damn Trump up there doing a damn snake poem. That's a fitting poem for a snake, a double-tongued Edomite. And his candle shall be put out with him. Sheesh. So all their imaginations and their way of thinking is going to be put out, man, of the earth, and with them out of the earth. And this is thus saith the Lord. The Lord is going to do this. This is his judgment coming upon these people. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. See that? So all these nations that America was in bed with, the whore, all these nations are coming against America, and they're going to send proxies. They're going to send migrants, all this different shit against America, hacking, you know, to bring this place down. It's going to cast this place down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare, man. Whew. So anywhere America goes in the world, they're gazing stock. Even when they're at home, they can't rest because they got people all around over the borders trying to get in this place, and cartels and all kind of other shit. For he is cast into his own net into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare, man. So the same trap that they're setting for us, for the people, is falling upon America. All right, the New World Order is the end of America. The jinn shall take him by the heel. That's a trap or a snare. And the robber shall prevail against him. So the Lord gonna let anything that's gonna rob from this place and take the resources out of this place, the Lord gonna allow it to happen. All right. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and the trap for him in the way. So it's a trap that we can't see being set for America. All right. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. And that's what we saw when we seen Trump doing that poem. They're being driven to their feet. You driven to your feet, you can't rest. You know, if not, he wouldn't be doing poems like that. You know, you pick up a snake and take it in. You knew it was a snake before you took him in, so it bit him. There's so many references in that, man. Because the original snake is Esau. You know, and this place is the serpent, America. And they represent the serpent, the spiritual demon Satan. You know, so for them to use that poem in references towards some of our people that's at the borders, and then references towards these regular heathens that's mingled in amongst the borders. No, it's America and the people that built it, Esau. All right, that stole this land as a snake that bit the people and sunk in their poison and caused our people to die. It was bitten by the snake. And the scriptures say that, man, who will pity the snake charmer? So who will pity America? All right. Who will pity our people for trusting Esau at the border when they throw up their gang sign, which is their smile? When they smile at you, but their inward thoughts is war, or use smooth words and presence and gifts to destroy the heart and kill our people with disease, warfare, and genocide and slavery. All right, so the Lord's going to have it done unto them. It says, terror shall make him afraid on every side, man, and shall drive him to his feet, man, because when you can't rest, you afraid somebody breaking in or some shit, so it's going to drive you to your feet, make you watch. All right, and you hear something crack in the middle of the night or a thump, you jump on. You're paranoid. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side, man. So the whole table is set, and the Lord making everything ready, all the plagues. You know, and plagues meaning like hurtful things, just these nations, all right, weapons, diseases, right, apparitions and shit, all the plagues of Egypt. That's what the Lord is bringing upon this place. It says, it shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. All right, so like I read this earlier. Yep, so it's Jeremiah 51:14. Yahweh of hosts have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars. Whew. So the Lord gonna fill this place with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. All right, and also the Lord gonna send missiles upon this place. There's gonna be so many. It's gonna be 200 million missiles. All right. So it says, he have made the earth by his power. He have established the world by his wisdom, and have stretched out the heaven by his understanding. All right, so he's going to fill this place with men as with caterpillars. So they worrying about borders. Man, the Most High going to allow the floodgates to open. When he uttereth his voice, there is, wow. When he uttereth his voice, right? I'm going to read from verse 15. He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom, and have stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. That's the king of terrors, man. So I say he's going to fill this place as with caterpillars, man. All right. So the Lord warned our people. And Esau, our people shouldn't have trusted him, but it was all according to prophecy that we would be brought over here to this land, mingled with the wicked, according to Zechariah chapter 5, all right, with a measure, an ephah, over here in Babylon. Now, this is Sirach 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right, so they'll come up with smooth words, smiling, and then have you signing treaties like they would do with the northern tribes. And if you sign that treaty or not sign the treaty, they would kill our people. All right, move them out of these lands, out of the swamps and shit like that. Put them on reservations. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. See, even today, their rust, they're still that old devil, that old serpent, the devil, Satan. All right. That's why the scripture say that old serpent is still the same. The leopard can't change their spots. All right. If they did, they would lose that. Anyway, dealing with animals, man. If the leopards didn't have spots, they wouldn't have that so much oxygen to go into their body through the carbon that's in those black spots. So what I was going to say is Esau would lose their steam. They would lose their power because their wickedness, their subtlety is a tool, a weapon of the Satan, of the serpent, the devil, and a weapon of Esau, the Caucasian race. All right, that represents the serpent upon earth. And they move in that fashion. And if they lose that, then what do they have? That's how they gain the fatness of the world, the riches of the world, through robbing, stealing, and killing. That's how Trump and his people, his forefathers got this place, America. You see that? Now they're talking about borders and shit like that. That's that spirit of Esau, man. It says, verse 12, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he shall stand up in thy place. And that's what happened. When he overthrew us, they stood up in our place. They called themselves the Jews. All right. Damn doppelgangers and shit. Imposters. They did something called iconoclasm, which means the destruction of the icons. All the paintings and artwork we had. They destroyed all of that and they put up their paintings and artwork and illustrations of that time, antiquity. So it says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, man. All right. And that's what Esau has done. He stood up in our place, man. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. And Gad didn't listen, and they trusted this devil. And the Lord was warning us about the mystery of iniquity. All right. And that he will be revealed in his time. And it's being revealed now. So you're not supposed to trust them damn Edomites. Don't trust the system. All right. Because it says this. Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? or any such as come nigh wild beasts. All right, that goes back to that poem. So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? All right. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. And what it said, Deuteronomy 28, we're going to go into slavery to our enemies. All right. Edomites. It says, so he speaks sweetly with his lips, but his inward thoughts are drawn swords. But in his heart, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Isn't that crazy? He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance, man. All right, but Zechariah 11:4, thus saith Yahweh my power, feed the flock of the slaughter. All right, so we feeding the flock, getting our strength back through wisdom and righteousness, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Revelations 11, we walking around dead upon our feet because of what? These nations have destroyed us, according to the book of Psalms, and also Hosea 4:6, where it said our people were destroyed for lack of knowledge. All right, so they hid the truth from us and destroyed our people physically and spiritually. But now the Lord has sent the pure manna from heaven, the provender for the shepherds to feed the flock. He set up the shepherds and he set up the sheep that hear the call. It says, who possessors slay them. All right, who's our possessors? Esau. He said, the Lord said we're going to go to our enemy for the one of all things. So he sent us into their hands. They became our possessors. Proof is you were born with slave names. You know, Jackson, Hicks, Johnson, Robinson, sons of Rob, sons of Jack, Edomite named Jack. And hold themselves not guilty, man. So they still hold themselves not guilty. Because they say, it wasn't me. But the book of Isaiah says clearly, the way the Lord's spirit is, he prepared slaughter for their children, for the sin, so their forefathers. So they touched the apple of the Lord's eye and invaded the borders, even the borders of Jerusalem in 70 AD, Titus and Vespasian. Really in 66 AD, over to that time. Before that too, but yeah. So now, today, the Lord is going to have that begin to happen with America. Then he's going to have it happen with Europe. Then he's going to have it happen with the land of Israel, the fake Jews today, at the same time with America. Then he's going to have it happen to Esau in general. All right. And they shall sell them, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not, man. If that's not the Caucasian race, man, I don't know what the hell is. That's why scripture say that 9:24. If not, where and who is he? The wicked. And their own shepherds, these false prophets, these preachers and church pastors out here. What they call community leaders. They pity our people not. They chasing at the riches, the love of money, the root of their evil. All right. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So he's being consumed with his word, with his true prophets, his mouth. And also they're going to be destroyed with the brightness of his arrival, his glory, with his angels and his power, his sword. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, man. So that's Esau. All right. that old serpent, the devil, the deceivers, the colonizers, all right? And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved, all right? And for this cause, Yahweh shall send them strong delusion that they shall believe a lie, and that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness, right? That's 2/3 of our people that have pleasure in this society that Esau has built, and that and pleasure in Esau's rulership and way of thinking. All right, this is Revelation 12:9. See, the original serpent is these Edomites, man. The one that was reading the poem or that wrote the poem about the snake. That goes all the way back to Alexander and his dad, Philip the Macedonian. All right, his mother, Alexander's mother, she was known as a what do they call it, man? A serpent worshiper, man. A python spirit. They worship the demon or spirit of Python, which goes back to some pagan idols, man. Goes back to the spiritual demon Satan, the wicked demon Satan. So the deceiving spirit. All right, the Most High controls all of them, though. All right, in the right hand and the left hand. So, but upon the earth, you have Amalek, the chief house of Esau. This is the house of the Satan dragon. Then you have these regular Edomites that run these countries and are set up as puppet rulers around the world, such as Trump or politicians acting as if they run America when they don't. They're just like managers of a corporation. The United States is a brand, it's a corporation, you know. And it has a manager, a president, just like any other corporation. So, but who owns it? Who's the owner of it? Who's the CEO? Chief executive officers. You know, who's the CFO? Chief financial officers. That's the Federal Reserve and also the Bank of England. And who runs that? The Rothschilds. All right. So you go back, follow the paper trail. It takes you right to the Esau, Edomites. So the great dragon was cast out. So it's talking about the European Union and the banking elite Edomite families. That old serpent, see that? It's still stuck in their ways. Called the devil. See, they never changed their ways. They're still the devil to the day. The deceiver, Diablos, and Satan. So calling them the devil and Satan. So who's the true serpent that got taken in and then bit the people with their poison? Is Trump and his people, Esau. All right. And since they've done that to the apple of the Lord's eye, the Lord said he's going to fill this place with men as caterpillars. All right. It says, which deceiveth the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, man. So his angels represent America, NATO, you know, all these Israelis, you know, all these imposters, man, that stole our identity and our place in rulership.